Hey, what's up, studs? Ryan here, MandRproductions, with a review in 2020 of the LEGO Star Wars Assault on Hoth set released in 2016. It is an Ultimate Collector Series set, per LEGO's marking on the bottom left of the box. It's set number 75098, recommended for ages 12 and up, with 2,144 pieces, and when it was released in 2016, it did cost $250 at retail. Now, I did another video on this set back in May 2020, and that video talked about why this set sucked, how LEGO failed with this set, and I'll link that video down below and on the card on screen now. I recommend you check that video out. It's not a review, it's more of a retrospective look at how the set came to be and why people didn't like it so much. That being said, this is more of an actual review. We'll take a look at all the features, the figures, and everything, so that's the difference between the videos. Anyway, there's about 15 minifigures in the set, so you get a ton of different characters for your Hoth scene. You get the Wampa and the Tauntaun. Some box art is beautiful, of course, and then on the back side, you're going to see a different angle of the set, basically the back side of everything in the set, so that you kind of know what you're getting into, as well as all of the features shown off for what you can do with the actual Hoth base here. So, pretty cool looking set as far as a Hoth base goes. Assault on Hoth, maybe not so much. One of the main issues with this set is that it is called Assault on Hoth, and that is all that there is for an assault. So, I think that's a little bit of a stretch, and then a lot of other people are a little upset that it's called Ultimate Collector Series because this doesn't quite fit what most Ultimate Collector Series sets are, like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, Imperial Shuttle, Slave One, ATST, Sandcrawler, Tantive, B-Wing, Snowspeeder, Y-Wing. You get the point, right? It's not quite the same. Now, that being said, the set does have a UCS style instruction manual, though, where they go through some of the information about the Battle of Hoth and things like that, which is kind of fun. One interesting fact about the set that's kind of revealed in the instruction booklet is that this set was actually delayed by at least a year for its release, because on this page here it says in the middle there that they released an AT-AT last year, and obviously they would have done the interview in 2015 if that were the case, but the set didn't come out till May 2016. So this set was in fact delayed by about a year for its release. Nice instruction manual though, thick, informative, and easy building process as you would expect with any LEGO Star Wars set. So let's take a look at all those minifigs. Our first figure up is Luke Skywalker, who has some beautiful looking cuts on his face, courtesy of the Wampa, also included in the set. I also like that they gave him a little bit of purple under his eye to symbolize the black eye he has. So very, very nice detail on the face. The torso is a great look as well with the Hoth outfit there. No leg printing may be disappointing to some, but I don't find to be a big deal on this particular character. On the backside, you'll just find the same style as the front vest. And one small issue is that his face kind of leaks out underneath his helmet, or his second face does on the backside, so that's one downside to the design that you see on the helmet there on the back. So if we lift that up, you will see his second face is much happier and scarless. So you can have him prior to his Wampa encounter and then after his Wampa encounter. And of course, this Hoth helmet, much like the other Hoth helmets we'll take a look at in this review, do this, so you can put the goggles down on the face, which I think looks ridiculous. They are oversized. You'll also find 5 other regular styled Hoth Rebel troopers in this set, 2 of which are wearing dark tan. This guy with a great looking beard there, and the leg printing on both those characters is wonderful. None of these regular Hoth Rebel troopers are going to have 2 faces. The other 3 Rebel troopers share this design. Of course, the only varying aspect of these is the face print, so you get this guy. Another one here with perhaps a bit of a happier look, maybe more optimistic would be a better description of that, and of course the backpacks on these dudes cover up the back print there. The final Hoth Rebel Trooper here definitely reminds me of a character that we see in the LEGO Endor set, I believe from 2009. There's the back print that all 3 of the Hoth Rebel Troopers that I just showed you share. You'll also get a Rebel Officer with a kick-ass mustache, great torso print, no leg or arm printing, which again could be disappointing for some, but doesn't really bother me, and a back print around there. Another named character here in the set is Torin Farr. You see her in episode 5. Nice looking torso there. Exactly the same as the first couple of Hoth Rebel Troopers I showed off to you guys. She does have a second face on the backside, which does provide a very inquisitive look with the raised eyebrow. I quite like the way that looks. So very nice. Torin Farr, nice character for the set. A beautiful looking Wes Jansen figure here. Love the helmet print. He's got kind of that checkered pattern with the tan and dark red. You can see a little bit of his second face peeking out from underneath the backside of the helmet there. Love the back of the torso print as well. You can also see a little hood that looks like it's supposed to be like down around around his neck. So that's kind of nice to see. So beautiful looking character. And if we remove this, you can see details like the microphone are there, chin strap. Great looking stuff there. And if you flip this around, you'll see a much angrier or more scared face. Kind of hard to tell for me, but definitely more expressive than this first one around front where he's just kind of smiling. The other Snowspeeder pilot is going to be Wedge Antilles with the dark green style helmet. Looks great. Same torso and leg and back print and everything. Only difference is going to be the helmet and that face print. Removing the helmet will reveal his second face there, which again is a little bit more scared than the first one. K3PO, who was originally in the 2007 Hoth Rebel Base, sees a return in this set. Much better looking in this case, much more updated print there. Love the gray accent colors that they kind of use to create the markings on the character. Nice little bit of red for a couple of dots on the top left of the torso, and even the faint yellow for the eyes is beautiful there. Han Solo is of course going to be included in the set here. He does not come with his hood though, unfortunately. If you were looking for that, you'd have to find it in another set. The hood though is represented on the backside with a bit of a print showing that it is down and not on him, so that's kind of nice. Again, underneath the hair, you'll see a little bit of that second face print peeking through. Looks a little bit awkward sometimes, but he's got a nice grin on this front one, and his second face is a little bit of an angrier look. Unfortunately, this set released before they changed over the Han Solo hairpiece, so you were stuck with this kind of flat-looking hairpiece, and they did change it for future sets, and it looked a lot better, so definitely something to take in consideration. If you're getting this set, you might not get the most updated type of stuff as far as figures go in 2020 and beyond. Your final Rebel figure here is going to be R3A2, the only astromech droid included in the set. So nice looking character, a little weird on the print there. Mine looks a little bit awkward, but yeah, gets the job done, and I kind of like the clear dome piece. Creates a nice aesthetic. And finally, to create the Assault on Hoth, you get 2 snowtroopers. Yay! 2 snowtroopers to oppose all of those Rebel minifigs that we just looked at. It's insane. I cannot believe that they only included 2 snowtroopers in the set and expected you to buy another $110 set to complete the Assault on Hoth. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame. They also did not release like a snowtrooper battle pack or anything at the time, so you had no real way to build an army of these dudes to go ahead and create a true Assault on Hoth because they didn't include it in the set. The figure though looks great. At this time they had changed over the snowtrooper helmet and it looks wonderful. As much as I like the older style, this one looks great as well. He's got a little backpack on there with a pretty nice print. You have one cape down here around his legs in the older style Lego cape material. Gray hands, gray hips, pretty nice looking. Remove this, you'll find an angry clone face. What do you expect? Classic Lego Clone Storm and First Order Stormtrooper style. And here's a quick look at the back print. That doesn't really matter because most of the time it'll be covered by the backpack. In a much more general sense, I feel like the Rebel side of the figure selection is amazing. I think any fan of Hoth and of the Rebellion is really going to love the array of figures that you get here. There are so many different faces, so many different characters, named characters, unnamed characters, that you're going to be able to pick up all in one set. And I think that was a great aspect of this set. However, the set being called Assault on Hoth, you would expect a formidable opponent on the other side of things, and for the Empire, you get 2 measly snowtroopers. Not that they're bad figures, but I would expect more minifigures for the Empire. So that was very disappointing, but in general, really good figures for the Rebel side, not enough for the Empire. So that's the figures, 15 of them, great selection, can't really complain about it other than the fact that I wish there was just more for the Empire. The set also includes a couple of great looking big figs, of course, with the Wampa, obviously posable arms, and you can pull 1 or 2 off, depending on how many arms you want Luke to have cut off. So that's kind of nice, posable arms, and the arms, we'll just bring over Han Solo for right now, can actually pick up Lego brick-sized things like so. So you could have Luke be held by the Wampa. That's kind of cool. Very nice looking character. And then, of course, the Tauntaun, going to be able to hold Han Solo. No posable legs, just like the Wampa, but the arms can move a little bit. Great looking face. Got the horns. Got a little saddle or whatever on there. Han Solo can drop his little blaster in the clip there on the side. You can just have him sit in there just like that and ride the Tauntaun around. Now, another option with this, you can actually pull this saddle off, and in the set, they actually include a 1x2 brick with a tile on top to kind of finish off the Tauntaun and make it look like he has not been domesticated or whatever. So that's kind of nice. I feel like to properly review this set, we have to start at what is essentially the center of the universe for this set. It is the Hoth Rebel Base's door here, and this is what a lot of things can attach to and be added onto, and then everything else kind of goes around it. So this is basically the center of the set. It is the centerpiece. It is beautiful, by the way. I love that they went with the black door. In the previous edition of this build, they actually went with a dark gray door, which didn't look bad, but this black door with the studs facing out looks beautiful. You got a couple of yellow lights there above it. The rock work and snow around the door here is also beautiful. I really love what they have going on with the rock kind of built into there. They do use the big ugly rock pieces or burps in this build, so you may not like that, but I don't find it to be particularly distracting or noticeable. There's also a nice little control panel, and if anything is particularly distracting or noticeable, it's that little red piece peeking through. So like I said, this is the center of the universe for this set, and you'll notice the clips on the front here, and that's because you can actually attach things onto the front of the Echo Base's door here. And first off, we have this little turret bit here, which looks great. I love the cannon design that they've put together here. I do prefer the 2009 version of this design, but this one still looks decent enough. You have spring-loaded shooters, which you can shoot off by pushing in onto them. Nice little play feature there. You also have a large sticker on the front of it, which I don't really love. Again, the 2009 version didn't use stickers, so that was kind of neat. And a nice small platform with a bit of the trench kind of built in there, like the trench pathway that you kind of see in the movie and in this set in particular. You'll actually be able to open up the lid here, basically, to the turret, and there is no control panel or anything. But as an additional play feature, you can have a minifigure sit in there, and it's kind of dumb, especially for an Ultimate Collector Series set, which is supposed to be accurate, not really deviate from that, but that's kind of one of the main issues with this set, is that while it's really good and I actually really like a lot of the design aspects of it, it takes a lot of liberties, and I think that's where it kind of falls apart. And attaching this to the clip couldn't be easier. You're just going to want to hold the base so that it's easy and push in on it until you hear it clip in. I think it makes a nice addition to the front of the base and looks pretty damn good. Now you may have noticed some small platforms on the top of the base here, like this. You'll also notice those here, like so, and that's because you have some ability to kind of transform the set by moving this to different spots as you please. So you can actually have the turret up top like that if you want. That's kind of a neat feature of the set if you want to customize it a little bit to fit your liking or your spacing or whatever the case may be, or maybe get more and add them on. You could definitely do that with this set. So that's what those extra little platforms are for, and I actually really enjoy that aspect of the build. Another somewhat interesting aspect of the build, and something that you might not recognize from the movie because it wasn't in the movie, is this little lookout tower. And the LEGO designers said that they thought it would be a fun addition. It was something they drew inspiration from the Yavin 4 base, and I quite like that. I have a couple of issues with it, being one, this is a UCS set. You're not really supposed to deviate from what would be the accurate look for a model, so that's one problem with that line of thinking, although I don't disagree that it's a bad addition again. And the other problem is that you can put a minifigure on there, right? So you have this nice little area for your figure to stand, and they can look out. I've raised the camera up a little bit because you may have noticed you can actually push this up, and then there's a little thing here you can pull out like that, and just like that, your lookout tower can be much higher. There's another clip over here on the right side of the base where you can add another bit on, and you're wondering, well, what could go there? Well, in fact, it is the ion cannon. Now, this is the only LEGO ion cannon we've ever seen outside of an advent calendar. That's not really going to count, so there is nothing really to compare this to, but I think they did a pretty damn good job designing it. Like, it looks round enough, looks pretty damn good, and the best part of the design, in my opinion, is the mechanism that allows you to double fire the ion cannon with those two spring-loaded shooters, and that is very movie accurate, which I really like to see, so I'll show you that in a moment. One of the problems with the design many people have in a UCS set is the backside being completely open, so that's kind of a unfortunate aspect of it, and that's something you kind of have to give up, though, I think, to have this mechanism that allows you to double shoot the spring-loaded shooter. So you pull back on this dark red bit, and you can see it start to move in. Actually, a really cool feature. Once again, you can actually move this as well just a little bit. And if we hold this down and pull this back, you'll see the double firing now. just like that. Actually really love that feature, and like I said, there's another clip on the front of the Echo Base here, and you can clip this one on there. Now the problem with this one though is it's a bit heavy. You're not going to be able to pick up the Echo Base with it attached. That's not a thing you can do, so don't expect to be able to do that. The inside of the Echo Base, without any of the additions we're about to make, is pretty bland. You don't really see anything special. It's not very exciting. It's just some Technic inner workings, and honestly it looks quite ugly like this. That being said, you may notice this giant white knob here, and that is what's going to allow you to open the door for the base, which is really neat to see. You also notice some very cool printed caution pieces down there. Those are very nice to see, and you can close it right back up just like so. It is a very nice mechanism. I love the way this works, very strong and solid, and it gives you a nice feedback as you turn the thing, right? Just nice gritty mechanical feedback. So really like the way that feels. These Technic bits here basically keep the whole build together. Very nice compared to the 2007 version of this base. So I'll do a comparison one of these days of the two sets. But there are additions you can make to this area pretty easily. The first of which being a little bay area for a Tauntaun. You can see some Technic pins there, and that's just going to attach right in. You're going to push in, and just like that, it is attached. On one side, you have some food for your Tauntaun to eat. Over here, you'll have some sort of generator with a little sticker panel piece. Perhaps this is what powers the door. I'm not exactly sure what this section is supposed to represent. Another aspect of this, though, that you might notice is this little crane, and included in the set for the first time ever in a LEGO Star Wars set is one of these Hoth Rebel transport vehicles that we see in the movie, and I really love the design of this. I think it's wonderful. They use these little wheels on the bottom to allow it to roll across your hard surfaces like so. Very low friction, very nice. You'll have some small little boxes here that include binoculars. You can move the crane along the track here, and it also has some very nice articulation with its arm. Probably use that little black bit to hold it, and like that, you can actually drop your little crate into the back of this little transport vehicle. It's actually a really nice feature, and there are two crates if you didn't notice. So just like that, you got two, and you can kind of put them wherever you need them. Drop this down to allow characters to walk off with the crate at the end as well. It's just a very nice level of detail and ability to play with something like this. Also space for a pilot, obviously, to stand on the front there, so he can stand there. You actually have two crates in your vehicle at once, and that's kind of what a fully loaded vehicle would look like. Really like that they were able to get this in the set. It definitely is something that I always like seeing in the movies, and certainly very great to see come to life in LEGO. And you may notice the left side of the base now is particularly barren, and that is because you now have two more additions you can still make to the left side of the base. First off, the smaller one is going to be the Wampa Cave, and I actually like the aesthetic of it. They were able to get some light blue in there. This just didn't exist in the original version of the Wampa Cave from 2010. That was a really nice set, but this one does have a nicer color aesthetic to it, in my opinion. However, there are some major issues with this one, or there is one major issue, I should say, and that is that the Wampa cannot fit through his own door. And in my video about what is wrong with UCS Hoth, a lot of people told me, oh, but it's not intended to be the Wampa's entrance to his cave, right? So then what is it, right? Because me, as an older person, not a child, I can only imagine a child would come to the same conclusion that I do when you have this in a standalone area like this, that this is supposed to be the entrance to the cave. And even if it's not, he can't move throughout his own cave, right? Like, what is this supposed to be, even if that's not the point of it, right? So he cannot fit through here in any way, shape, or form, very unfortunately. It is stupidly undersized, in my opinion, so you hate to see that. It's still an aesthetically pleasing build, but the size of it is just so sad to see. Anyway, you can actually hang Luke upside down like so, and then you can also have his lightsaber be placed into that little bit there. I really like that they were able to get a stud in there just to add a little bit of white to that, and you can see you're going to be able to fling the lightsaber out, and, you know, in the real movie, it would go into his hand, but it's hard to recreate that in LEGO. Maybe that's an effective use of it. So something like that, but that's a little feature that they placed in the set that I actually really like, although it's not really practical, right? Like, you're never going to get it to actually go to his hand, but still adequate enough. And you can actually take this, and like I said, there's going to be an area for you to attach it over there on the left side with those two open Technic holes, and just like that, you have that added onto the set. You're starting to get an idea of what this is going to look like. The next section you can add on is this little control room area. Some nice sticker detailing, and the transparent little control center is kind of nice. We have a really neat building technique here with these placed on some bricks that have studs on the side. I really like what they were able to do there, and then add the sticker on top of it to create a nice little surface that's very thin. You'll see some more older style control panels on the right there, and this can also hold multiple of your spring-loaded shooters just for additional ammunition. You have this little tube kind of moving up and above, which is nice. And, you know, it's one nice section of the set, and it's the final section you can kind of add on here. However, they did end up releasing in 2018, I believe, a Hoth Medical Bay, and that would have been kind of a nice addition, in my opinion, in lieu of the Wampa Cave, and allow the Wampa Cave to kind of be a standalone thing, and that's just my opinion there. But anyway, this goes on there, and you can actually throw some figures in, of course, if you want to, and just like that, it is populated. So it's a nice addition, and those three sections on the back here really help fill out and complete the design of the backside of the Hoth door. And if you remember, I mentioned earlier that you can't pick it up with the front ion cannon on there, but you can actually pick up the set with all of these things attached onto the back because they're attached with Technic and not the hinge pieces. So there's a stronger connection there, and it allows you to actually lift up the whole thing at once with those attached, which is kind of nice if you want to move the set somewhat easily. It wouldn't be Hoth without a snowspeeder. You got some stickers for detailing throughout the snowspeeder. You have your air brakes on the left and the right, which also have a sticker up underneath showing some engine detailing, which is rather good looking. I really like these textured 2x2 round bricks. Those are really nice. Creates a nice effect there as we move down to the front of the laser cannon for the snowspeeder there. Quite nice. The coloring and angling on this is all pretty damn good. This is one of the better snowspeeder playset designs. Of course, being more modern helps a lot. You have a stud shooter on the back, which you can actually turn a little bit and move up and down just slightly. Quite like the design on that. You have your tow cable on the back here, which you can actually just pull out like so and have wrap around an AT-AT if you want. That's nice. And it will take a little bit of time if you want to bring it back into its resting position so that it's not in your way. But really nice design on the back there with the girl plates. Nice sticker on the side of the windshield there. You can open the cockpit in two ways. There are the hinges there on the top, which you can just lift open like that. We'll close that back down because that's not the way that I want to do it. We can also just open the whole thing at once, which actually gives you very nice and easy access to everything in the interior. I really like that back sticker showing the tow cable firing off behind them into the mountains of Hoth, and then the front sticker is just a more standard control panel style sticker. And then in the center there's actually a place where in the instructions they tell you can place one gun, or the designers tell you can place one in there. You can actually place both blasters in there just like that very easily, and then you're able to take both minifigs and sit them down and into the snowspeeder. There are no studs there in the seats, so you don't have to worry about their legs getting stuck or anything. They use the very nice tiled off pieces, so I really appreciate it when the designers add those in there versus the studs, because like I said, the studs will make the minifigures get stuck, and in this case, you don't have to worry about that. So beautiful design there. Close that up, and you're good to go. Snowspeeder does have some very simple 3-point landing gear on the bottom, as well as some spring-loaded shooters just kind of hidden up underneath, and we know how those work. Second last bit for the Rebellion here is the Hoth shield generator. It is a nice looking design, very accurate looking, bar the fact that there are supposed to be 4 generators instead of 3. I don't know how they decided on this, given that they were going to call this a Ultimate Collector Series set, but that was the decision that was made, and I'm sure they regret it. It does have an excellent feature where you can actually make it explode by punching down on that there. So without further ado, here we go. Bam. Pretty neat, I will admit. That is a really cool feature for the set. However, I find it extremely disappointing that for a UCS set, there's such a large and obvious inaccuracy that could be easily fixed by literally just adding one more onto the end. So I don't quite get it. I don't know what the rationale behind that was. I would love to know if any of the designers would be willing to comment below, but yeah, I just never figured this one out. Like I said, the Rebels have one final aspect of this set for them, and that is this rather large trench area, which I actually quite like the look of. I think they built a very nice and detailed trench. You have one of the turrets, exactly the same as the one that we saw earlier in the review. Same thing, spins 360 degrees, has the spring-loaded shooters. You can open up the top hatch here and put a minifigure in if you want. You also have a very detailed Hoth dish turret here, which has the 6 stud shooter on the front there, and that is a really nice feature. You can actually spin this and shoot them all off. If you've never seen a 6 stud shooter, that's how it works. Just keep spinning it and they'll keep shooting. So very nice design, and as you can see down below it, there are actually extra studs included, of course, for you to reload your stud shooter if you were to lose them. Reloading is slow and can be tedious at times. There's some nice generator and tubing details on this build as well, so that's really nice. And like I mentioned earlier, there's the ground, and you get these like dark tan and light tan bits that kind of represent where the minifigs are supposed to walk. It's kind of seen in the movie. You would see that if you go back and you look closely And then finally, there's actually some little turrets here, which are quite nice. You can have them spin around and move up and down as you please, and you could actually remove them and put them on different areas of the set if you wanted to, because like I said, you see these throughout the set, and you can place whatever you want on them, including this dish turret. This one can come off of its platform as well. So those platforms are very nice and customizable for people that want to do that, but you can of course take some rebel troops and sit them behind the wall or down in the trench effectively to fight back against the AT-AT walkers and the snow troopers incoming. Great looking trench build in my opinion, and that is everything for the rebel side of things. And for the Empire, you get a actually good looking turret and a snow speeder. Yay! Yeah, not too exciting for the Empire here. The speeder here actually looks really nice though. You have stickers to add some detail, of course, little backpack on the back there and the little skis there, create the little feet or whatever for the back end of the speeder. Nice looking, but not much in the face of the entire Rebel base. Same with this turret. Nice stud shooter on top. You know how stud shooters work. And a decent design, but I've never actually really enjoyed turrets like these because I find that they fall apart really easy if you play with them. Just throughout my lifetime, that's what I found. Snow trooper just kind of stands around. And then maybe one of the most exciting aspects, the box. Never know what you'll find in the box, but in this case, it is 4 red studs to have more studs for your stud shooter to fight back against the rebels. So yeah, that's it for the Empire. Not very exciting at all, is it? Overall, the UCS Assault on Hoth is an amazing playset. It's a conglomerate of what would normally be multiple sets that LEGO would sell separately, and I almost feel like that would have been the optimal strategy other than having changed the name of the set from Assault on Hoth to like Hoth Base and removing the UCS moniker from the set. But there's a lot of fun little things in this set that you can do as a playset, and it's not entirely undisplayable. I think the Hoth door looks amazing. I think the trench looks all right. The ion cannon bar the backside looks good. So there are some redeeming aspects to the set for me as a collector. The main issue, obviously, for most people, again, is calling this little thing here an assault, because that is not an assault. They wanted you to spend the extra $110 on that AT-AT there to create the assault, and by the time they released this set, that set was no longer for sale. I will once again recommend checking out my video called Why LEGO Star Wars UCS Hoth Sucked, because that video really does a great job, I think, of explaining what really went wrong with this thing. So let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments section below, but I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I don't think it's terrible. I don't really love it, but I don't think it's terrible. So leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and check out that video on Hoth. I think it's a really good one, so peace out.